Welcome to the island of Santorini. It's not much, but we call it home. In Santorini, players are going to be playing competitively against each other by building buildings to build the island of Santorini. Now, how the game starts is they will place their workers out on the board first, however they want. The other player will then, so let's say, place their workers on the board however they choose, and then the game's ready to begin. How Santorini works is a player is required to do two things on their turn. The first thing that they have to do is move. So let's say the blue player is going to start. So the blue player is going to pick one of their workers, I guess, to move. Now how they can move is they can move any space that's unoccupied orthogonally or diagonally. So basically any of the 8 spaces around them. This guy could not move here because it has to be unoccupied. There cannot be another worker there. And so let's say the blue player moves. And he moves there, one space. The second thing that you have to do on your turn is you have to build. Now when you build with the worker that you moved. You could not build, the blue player could not build with this guy over here. And so when you build again in the orthogonal or diagonal area around you. And so you will take a piece and let's say the blue player builds here. This is what I call level 1. There are 3 levels to the game. So there's a level 1, a level 2, and there's a level 3. There you go. So there are 3 levels to the buildings, like such. The goal of the game is to get your worker, one of your workers, to the top 3rd level, and you automatically win the game. Well, here's the challenge. The challenge is that you cannot simply just jump up. You have to go up 1 level at a time. Now the rules do state that a worker can jump down from any level without hurting themselves or anything, but you cannot jump from the floor to a level 2. You would have to, so let's say, build over here to a level 1. You could jump to a level 1, and then to a level 2, and then to a level 3. If you get to a level 3, you win the game. Too simple, you say? Well, of course. There's the other player that can move and then can elect to build in this location because they've moved with this person, and they can build a dome. And when they build the dome, they basically cap off that building, which means that the player cannot move there. So they basically block. So you can block your opponent. So it's a really cool strategic, sort of a chess style kind of game where players are going to be moving and placing out, more pieces to get on top of. You're going to be building this 3-dimensional thing that's going to look kind of cool at the end when you get a lot of these buildings built. But it does feel like chess. You are always thinking about, if they move this way, I'm going to move this way, but if they build, I got to be able to move to be able to block them, and yet I still need to win on my own somehow. Really, really great game. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. It's a great way to play if you want to kill about 5 to 10 minutes. But the game just kind of loses it. What really makes the game, Santorini, are the god cards. So the game comes with a bunch of god cards that basically you will deal these out at like random, or you could do a draft, depending on however you want to play, that gives you alternative ways of playing. So for example, Atlas here, he can build domes anywhere. He can build them on the ground, on level 1s, on level 2s. He can build them anywhere. And so that gives me, when I have this card, a special ability to play the game. Some of the cards change the win condition. I'm not finding it right here. So like Pan, if you have a worker and he jumps down, if he jumps down from a level 2, you automatically win the game. So these cards are great. You have a great sort of structure here with the basic game, but you're going to get bored with it. It's not worth the money. What's worth the money is getting these cards, and they come in the base game. And it basically gives you just replayability. The cards are cool. They're these giant, like, tarot-sized cards, and the abilities are cool. They really change the game, and they make you think about, okay, what does their power do? and how can I stop it? Oh, cool, I have a power as well. What does my power do? And you're really just, the game changes as you play. There's also an expansion for this game called Santorini the Golden Fleece, which basically adds a golden fleece to the board, adds more god powers, adds some hero cards. It just adds more ways to vary the game, to vary how to win, to kind of spice things up. But essentially, yeah, this is a really great, fun, quick, thinky game. You got these cool three-dimensional buildings that you're building. And so that's an overview of Santorini. God, one of my favorite games. And so there's an overview of Santorini, one of my favorite games. Now let me kind of talk about why I like this game so much. Now the first thing is just me repeating myself. I like this game because it feels like chess without being anything like chess. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's true. You're constantly thinking, okay, if my opponent does A, I need to do B. But if they do B, I need to do C. And your opponent is thinking the same thing. You've got these A's and B moves, and there's a lot of action, reaction in the game. So it does have that abstract strategy that chess has. It doesn't take as long. Santorini is probably maybe a 20-minute game. And so it's for people that don't want to get locked into something that can be as long as chess. Chess can take quite a long time. So who would I recommend this game for? Well, some positive things about it is that it's short. It's also easy to teach, and it's easy to learn, especially if you're just playing without the god powers. If you're just playing the base game, it's a really easy game to pick up. I've taught Santorini to a couple of people in the last week, and we're up and rolling and playing within minutes. They're figuring out the game. So having said that, I think this is a really great game for teachers or for parents with kids. And I'll tell you why. Kids like to be able to outwit someone else. If it's not in a gun sort of violence sort of way, if they do like the idea of chess, if they like the idea of abstract strategy games, this is a good game for them because kids like moving their little workers and building. That's the biggest thing. You get these three-dimensional buildings that you get to build, and so kids like that aspect and that element of like moving their worker and then like building a building and making a level 2 and jumping up and then jumping off, jumping down to go to another spot on the island or things like that. Kids really like building something out of nothing, and that's how this game starts. As you saw, the board starts with nothing, and you just kind of start to build in and fill in all of the places, the spaces, I should say. And so it's really cool for kids, and it's not hard enough for kids not to understand. And so that's why I really like this game, is because if you play chess, I always say, no, let me show you Santorini. It's easier to play, it's quicker to play. Kids will probably be more engaged with Santorini than they will be learning and playing chess. And so it's a really great gateway as a step up for kids to get into gaming or to get into more abstract strategy games. So that's why I really like Santorini and why I wanted to make a video about it. So that's all I have to say. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you all at the next video.